Welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. I'm Andy, I am your host, and we've got a host, a host of transfer news to talk about. We've got a bid rejected by Spurs from Brighton for Luka Vuskovic. We've got updates on Van Hecke's move to Tottenham, which seems to be getting ever closer. We've got great news surrounding Pedro Porro signing a new contract. We've got updates on interest in a doggy. There's so much to get into and talk about. Let's not dilly-dally. Let's not waste time. Let's get in. Let's talk. I'm going to start off with the news really surrounding Luka Vuskovic. So David Ornstein, a few hours ago, put out a tweet saying that Brighton and Hove Albion had made a £30 million offer for Luka Vuskovic. Then it comes out that he's agreed, he's got a verbal agreement with Brighton as well, but Spurs have rejected the offer, is what we've been told. Now, to be honest, it's just kind of hilarious, isn't it? I love football clubs in this regard, right? So, you've got Van Hecke, who we're going to talk about, that only wants a Spurs move. He's got 1 year left on his contract. He's not signing a new deal, and Brighton value him at 70 million. You have Spurs with the probably best young centre-back in the world, 4-year contract, and Brighton go, oh yeah, I know we charge 70 million, but we want 30. And apparently they want to use it as we'll bring Van Hecke's price down. Okay, that's nice. One of the best centre-backs in the Bundesliga last year. The price is actually... the price is going to be more than 30 million, that is for sure. Now, for me, I don't really understand it. Supposedly, De Zerbi doesn't see Vuskovic as a starter anytime soon. But the way I look at it is, sign Van Hecke, loan Vuskovic for a year. Brighton don't do loan deals. Oh no, what a shame. Okay, cool. He can go elsewhere. There are a host of other clubs who want Vuskovic. So, get him for them on loan. It makes a ton of sense. So, look, there's that on Vuskovic's situation. It isn't an easy deal. It's not a deal that's going to happen anytime soon. Supposedly, Spurs won't be making any decisions till after the World Cup, which kind of coincides with the idea that if Vuskovic does well and his price rises, Brighton are screwed there in that regard, right? But anyway, let's move to Van Hecke side of things, because the same guy, Juice Blauhoef, who is very much in the know with Dutch players, has said the transfer of Van Hecke to Tottenham is getting closer and closer, possibly by Sunday. We're talking in 2 days' time. Brighton want to involve Vuskovic in a deal with value defender around 30 million, which will be deducted from the price of Van Hecke. Well, I mean, Vuskovic is closer to double 30 million than actually having 30 million. So, kind of irrelevant there. Just get Van Hecke. It's not really a big deal. There's nothing deep about it. Just go and do it. Get it done. Forget about it. Move on. And Spurs, I think, will get this deal done. It will get done pretty quickly. And, looks like Van Hecke will be a guy that Spurs bring in this summer. Now, let's talk Pedro Porro, because Pedro Porro, a couple of hours ago from Fabrizio Romano, saying that Pedro Porro untouchable for Roberto De Zerbi despite links with Manchester City and other clubs. He's a key player and not for sale, as always reported. Talks over new contract are also underway as Spurs want Porro to stay and get better terms. The Athletic have also said that Pedro Porro is close to agreeing a long-term contract with Tottenham. He's obviously got 2 years left on his current deal, which is due to run to 2028. But the new agreement will run to 2030. Look, this is, for me, great news. For me, this is great news. I've been steadfast on this. People talk about, I remember someone going to me once, he can't defend the back post in terms of, headers. How many right backs are 6'3", lad? You know what I mean? If Peter Crouch pulls off to the back post, he's probably going to be better than, I don't know, all of the right backs in world football, right? His actual attacking play is genuinely bonkers. It is absolutely phenomenal, right? And Spurs are lucky to have that in regard. He's one of the best attacking right backs in world football, right? Okay, yes, defensively, maybe not always the best, right? but it can be worked. It can do well. And actually, when you look at the right backs in the league, he is one of the best right backs in the league as well. So I'm buzzing with this news. In my opinion, I've always be steadfast about this as well. You do not sell a player who offers you value right here and now for you to kick on. You move off of players that aren't good enough. Okay, this is one of the players that, unless you've got a crazy offer, you keep and you continue to build him within that group that you're trying to build around. You know, Mickey Van der Ven, you're trying to build around. You know, if a doggy stays fit, you're trying to build around. You've got Porro. You know, you've got great youngsters coming through. Xavi Simons. You've still got Madders. You know, if Kulusevski is fit, you'd say Kulusevski, obviously. Kudus, you know, build around them. And this is one of those. So for me, this is absolutely great news. I'm buzzing with the fact that Pedro is going to be staying. And happy days. Happy bloody days. And look, there was some reports out from... there was some reports out, sorry, I just saw from Italy, you know, supposed interest in players like Spence, players like, you know, a doggy, not for sale, supposedly. And nor should we be looking to cash in on either one of those players actually as well. Again, you've only just about finally got a set of fullbacks. For the first time in a really long time, I can sit there and say we have a set of fullbacks. For so long, we had left back, right back, and Jed Spence who played both. We now finally have sets of fullbacks, you know, and actually you have spare, because you could sit there and say Mickey Van der Ven plays left back. You know, still got Ben Davies. You know, you can have the ability now to play three at the back and your wing backs. You still got Dragajin. You know, we need to work out what's doing there. So I don't see that moving on, but I think it's great news around Pedro Porro staying. I think Van Hecke looks like it's going to be something that's going to happen within the next sort of, I'd say, week. He should be announced. Obviously, I'm not exactly sure. Let me have a look at Holland and their fixtures. So they play Sunday at 9 p.m. versus Japan. That should be a decent game, actually. That should be a decent game. They play Sweden as well. That should be a decent game, actually. By the way, the World Cup last night, bonkers. Absolutely bonkers with Mexico. But look, I think it's good news on Pedro. I think it's good news on Van Hecke. That looks like something they're going to get done. That's looking like number 3. You've still got Savinho that's on the cards right now, and we're still sort of seeing what's going on with that situation. You've still got talks around Paulinho, seeing what's going on in that situation. But obviously on Vuskovic, I think Spurs are either going to sell or loan. I don't think he's going to be at the club next season. I think Spurs want to see what he's got at the World Cup this summer, because if he has a good World Cup, then his price tag, with a great World Cup, could double. Genuinely, it sounds stupid. So I think that's why Spurs won't be selling him anytime soon. If they do sell him, it'll be well into this window. But I hope they don't. The guy's an absolute star in the making. You don't sell those sort of players. You do not do it. Do not do it. But anyway, let me know your thoughts down below. I'll speak to you all very soon. Take care. Peace.